Hello everyone, I'm Broughy1322 and in this video I want to talk a little bit more and explain a little bit more about how YouTube Red works. So in the first episode of this sort of mini vlogging explaining series, which I may end up calling Broughy Explains or something like that, I talked about how YouTubers earn money from YouTube, how much they earn, all that kind of stuff. And that sort of spawned quite a few comments and questions about a variety of aspects, which led to the previous video in this series, where I talked about how ads work on YouTube, how YouTubers make money from advertisements. But there were also a few questions and a few misconceptions as well about YouTube Red. So that's what spawned this video. So the one main misconception about YouTube Red, which I want to clear up first of all, is that it isn't a way to directly support your YouTubers. If you're a YouTube Red subscriber, your money doesn't go necessarily to the YouTubers that you watch. It gets spread among quite a few. I'm going to explain a little bit more about that later on, but don't subscribe to YouTube Red if all you want to do is actually just support the YouTubers that you watch. There are plenty of other ways to do that, which I've talked about in previous videos. You need to decide if you want to have YouTube Red, if you want to subscribe to YouTube Red, it needs to be something that you go for based on the benefits that that subscription service gives you. Now, as a consumer, from a consumer perspective, those benefits are as follows. Basically, the main one is that there are no adverts on any videos. So that includes whether you're watching a YouTube video on desktop, on a mobile application, on tablets or anything like that. Whatever you watch it on, there will be no adverts for YouTube Red subscribers. It also means that you have access to Google Play Music, and automatically all subscribers to Google Play Music are YouTube Red subscribers as well. So they've basically just put both of those together as one big subscription service. You also get access to exclusive content produced by YouTube, sort of like Netflix originals, Amazon Prime exclusives, stuff like that, which basically means that some of these bigger YouTubers, PewDiePie's been involved in one of them. It's just original exclusive content just for YouTube subscribers, YouTube Red subscribers, produced specifically by YouTube. And then also there are a few benefits to the mobile application. If you use that, you can download videos to the mobile application, to your tablet, and watch them offline. So if you're not anywhere with an internet connection, you'll still be able to watch those videos that you've pre-downloaded earlier. And you can also play videos in the background. So now if you have the application on your phone and you listen to a music video, for example, you watch a music video and you decide to go on a different application on your phone, you close YouTube and the video will stop playing, the music will stop playing. As a YouTube Red subscriber, that would then continue playing and you'd be able to listen to music or listen to the sound from a video whilst doing something else. So those are the benefits as a viewer you would get from a YouTube Red subscription, and that's what you need to base your decision on if you do want to be a YouTube Red subscriber. It's whether those features are right for you. So this series has always been about me trying to give you the insider info from a creator perspective. How does this affect me as a creator who makes videos on YouTube? How is the money dished out? What are the inner workings of YouTube? And that's what I've always tried to explain in these videos, and that's what I'm going to try and do with YouTube Red. It is slightly more complicated than the YouTube ads video though. So in that previous video about advertisements, it was all basically based on views. The more views that you got, the more money that you got from advertising revenue. One view from somebody who watched the advert before your video gained you about 0.3 of a cent. That was the original figure that I was working with. And then the more people that watch your videos with adverts on them beforehand, the more money that the creator gets. It's not quite the same with YouTube Red. YouTube Red is all based on watch time rather than views specifically. Now, I mentioned this before in the first video, but essentially it's all of the money that is generated by YouTube Red goes into a huge pot. So all of the subscribers of YouTube Red and Google Play Music, because they're basically both the same thing now, all of that money goes into a huge pot. Now, YouTube takes 45% of that. That's exactly the same percentage that they take from advertising revenue. So the advertisers pay YouTube a certain amount of money to advertise their thing. YouTube takes 45%, 55% goes to the YouTubers. That's exactly the same thing as what happens with YouTube Red money. All of the money from YouTube Red subscribers goes into a big pot. YouTube takes 45%. The other 55% goes to the YouTubers. But how does that 55% of YouTube Red money actually go to the YouTubers? Because it isn't a case of $5.50 of your $10 goes to the YouTuber that you watch. That was a common misconception, and that's what I think a lot of people assume is how it works. So it's not like something on Twitch where $2.50 of the $5 subscription goes directly to your favorite Twitch streamer who you're subscribing to. That's not how this works, and that's not what you should base your decision on whether to get YouTube Red for. Say, for example, there are only two YouTubers, PewDiePie and myself. We're the only YouTubers on the entirety of YouTube. That'd be very boring, I know. But say there are two YouTube Red subscribers as well. One person watches exclusively PewDiePie videos. One person watches exclusively my videos. You might assume that $5.50 of person A's money will go to PewDiePie. $5.50 of person B's money will go to me. That's not how it works. It's all based on watch time. So both those people give $5.50 to a central pot. Now that pot of $11 is then dished out to PewDiePie and myself based on the amount of time that those two people watch our videos. So if PewDiePie has that guy watching 9 hours of videos, whereas the person who watches my videos only watches 1 hour of my videos every month, then 90% of that central pot goes to PewDiePie, 10% of it goes to me. So although there's one person who's paying, say, $10 for this YouTube Red subscription, and he only watches my videos, not all of his $5.50 actually goes to me, and some of his $5.50 actually goes to PewDiePie, who he doesn't watch at all. But the same thing can be said for the other person. So on a small scale like that, it seems like it would be quite unfair and not the right way to do it. Now, I certainly think that it would be better if maybe $1 or $2 of that $5.50 was set aside for only the YouTubers that YouTube Red subscriber watches, but that's not how they've decided to do it. And when you think about it, I can understand why it's done like this, because they've basically done it this way to protect from people who don't watch many videos being more valuable than people who do. So say, for example, you've got one person who watches thousands of videos every month. He's still only giving $5.50 as a total to the creators that he watches. If it was dished out, if his $5.50 was then dished out between those creators, they may only get a couple of cents because he's just watching so many people. Whereas there might be somebody else who's maybe a Google Play Music subscriber, hardly watches a YouTube video. He comes in and watches one YouTube video in a specific month, and his entire $5.50 goes to that YouTuber. It was just a random chance that he happened to click on that one video that interested him. He's not really a supporter of YouTube or a supporter of the creators at all, but his entire $5.50 goes to that person, whereas the person who watches a lot of videos by a lot of creators who put a lot of effort into making good videos that he wants to watch, only a tiny portion of that money goes to each specific one. So it's kind of to protect against that, and it is a bit of a fairer way to do it. All the money goes into a big central pot, and that is then dished out based on watch time. So it's not based on the number of views you get, it's not based on likes or subscribers or anything like that. It's based on the amount of time that YouTube Red users watch the content that you put out. So me, for example, it doesn't matter about non-YouTube Red users. You know, people who don't subscribe to YouTube Red don't affect where this money goes, and that's a fair way to do it. It shouldn't be based on the whole of YouTube. It should be based on what actual YouTube Red subscribers are watching as to where their money goes, even if it doesn't directly go to the YouTubers that they watch specifically. So every YouTube Red user who watches my videos for an increased amount of time increases the percentage of money that I would make from that entire YouTube Red pot. So basically, we'll bring it down to basics. This is quite a difficult thing to explain, and this has been sort of, I think, something like the fourth or fifth try that I've tried to make this video, because it's such a difficult thing to put down into words. Hopefully you guys are following. Say there are a couple of creators who YouTube Red subscribers watch. There are maybe 100 YouTube Red subscribers, so that's $5.50 into this $550, sorry, into this central pot of YouTube Red money. Now, those YouTube Red subscribers watch 100 minutes of video. If 20 minutes of that time was spent watching my videos, I would earn a fifth, 20% of that YouTube Red money. That's how it works. So if you are a YouTube Red subscriber and you watch my videos, basically you are increasing my percentage of that entire YouTube Red pot. And the same goes for every YouTube Red subscriber watching any video from a creator that they like. So YouTube Red subscribers are supporting their favorite creators just by watching their content, but it's more indirect than, strictly speaking, sending them money specifically. It's more a case of the more that a YouTube Red subscriber watches a specific creator, the more the higher percentage of the YouTube Red pot of money that creator will receive. Now, it may seem like that would be a tiny percentage, which it probably is, but a tiny percentage of a lot of money is still a fair amount. And one of the main sort of worries that creators had from a creator standpoint, a main worry that it was that creators are losing out on ad revenue. So YouTube Red users don't have to watch adverts. So a YouTube Red user who would have clicked on, say, one of my videos, watched an advert before it, I would have earned a certain amount of money for that advert being shown. That will no longer be shown for that YouTube Red subscriber. And would the income from YouTube Red counteract that, basically? Now, when you work it out and you sort of do the maths behind it, it's probably going to be better for creators, honestly. Now, it's not something that I can really tell at the moment. It's going to be, a few months down the line whether I'll actually know whether it is, strictly speaking, better. But a YouTube Red subscriber, YouTube Red user, is basically worth about between 1,500 and 2,000 ad views. So in terms of the amount of money that they put into the YouTube creator ecosystem. So $5.50 would pay for, essentially, I would have to get, say, 1,500 to 2,000 views, ad views, to make $5.50 that a YouTube Red user is giving to YouTube. Again, I'm not, strictly speaking, going to be making that $5.50 because it gets put into a big pot, but that's kind of the effect that they have. YouTube Red users will basically put more revenue into the YouTube ecosystem than what they would have done had they been watching adverts. Again, sorry, this is might be a little bit difficult to follow. I'm trying my best to explain it. Basically, a YouTube Red user is worth more than the adverts that they no longer watch, is what I'm trying to say. So it should work out slightly better for creators. How much better, we don't know. But YouTube only has to sort of convert a very small percentage of users to YouTube Red, because they're paying so much more than the amount of money that they would have brought in from advertising revenue. So it's not going to be as big of a deal for creators as what they initially sort of feared, I would say. And I think it's fair to say that the majority of people who are currently watching this video, who are currently watching videos on YouTube regularly, probably aren't going to be subscribing to YouTube Red. It's only going to be a very small percentage of users in general who subscribe to YouTube Red, I would say, which means that overall, in terms of revenue from advertisements, it's not going to change all that much. It might be a tiny bit lower because that small percentage has moved away, but in general, the majority of people who do watch adverts and who do continue to watch content are still going to be there doing exactly the same thing as what they always have. And those people who have converted to YouTube Red will be basically earning YouTube and earning creators more money than what they would have done had they been just watching adverts in the first place. So it should be okay, but I'll do a follow-up video in a few months' time to sort of try and let you guys know how that worked out and whether YouTube Red was a positive impact in terms of revenue or a negative one, and whether it actually was able to counteract the adverts that were lost, the ad revenue that was lost from YouTube Red users. So I think that's pretty much it. It's been a very, very difficult one to explain this one, because it's not quite as straightforward as just, watching videos, advertising revenue, more views equals more revenue. It's a little bit more complex than that, but the sum up, I guess you could say it is, would be, don't subscribe to YouTube Red if supporting the creators that you watch is your main goal. That is not the right way to do it, because your money is probably not going to be going to only the creators that you watch. It will be going and spread out to a lot of different creators. If you are a YouTube Red subscriber, by watching the creators that you love, you will be increasing their share of the pot, but your money won't directly necessarily be going to them. So you want to be getting YouTube Red if the original features, if the whole features for getting it make sense to you and are something that you would benefit from. Think of it as sort of a product, a little add-on, rather than a way to support your favorite YouTubers. And also, the way that it gets dished out is that all of the money from all YouTube Red subscribers goes into a big pot and is dished out to all of the creators who those YouTube Red users watch, based on the amount of time that those YouTube Red users spend watching those videos. I know, it's not quite as simple as advertising revenue, but that's the story of it. I hope I've been able to explain it to a reasonable standard anyway, so you guys understand how this all works. If you do have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll try and answer them. But I'll also put a few links in the description which should help you understand this a little bit better. And if you are interested in how this all works and how it's all dished out in terms of money, those links in the description should certainly help. Just to let you know that YouTube Red is only available in the US at the minute. The free trial that YouTube Red users had is coming to an end in the US, and that's why I've made this video, to sort of better explain about it. But it's scheduled to be released to other countries next year. So who knows how it's going to change the whole YouTube ecosystem? Is it going to be better for creators or not? We don't know. We just don't know at this point. But ultimately, I thought I would make a video to explain for those who did have questions about it or were sort of unsure or had some misconceptions about how it works. Hopefully, I've solved that now. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you continue to enjoy these sort of vlog style explaining videos. I really do appreciate it. Again, leave all your thoughts down below, leave all your comments down below, and I'll see you next time.